Hello my beautiful badgers, Messy Coder back again with another asset store review. This time it's the detailed medieval castle from Astrofish Games. Astrofish Games has already brought out the medieval village and medieval detailed props and wells and polygon village, and there's even a polygon version of this castle as well. But this video we're playing about with the the detailed medieval castle. It is so detailed you're going to get medieval with us. So sit back, enjoy, I need a better intro, and I'll see you all in a second. Hello my beautiful badgers, we're back inside Unity playing about with the detailed medieval castle pack from Astrofish Games. Normally this is priced, I've got here, €125, which is 140, well, you get 1 cent shy of $140. It's on sale at the moment, 70% off, which is $42. If you want to get a massive castle pack at a bargain price, well, today's your lucky day. So I'm going to be reviewing this as its full price, but also, with that in mind, that today is bargain day over on the Unity Asset Store. What do you get in this pack? Well, you get over 300 models, a load of prefabs, you get a load of modular parts to make any castle you want, as well as he's put together some examples of ready-made parts of a castle, so you can just plug and play. It's a bit like, imagine you've got a Lego set, you get given all the pieces of Lego, but then somebody already came out to your house and put together a load of parts for you to then just plug together to make your own castles, freeing up a lot of time. Because if you're going to do it yourself, really? Oh, it's such a pain in the bum. A modular is great, having the flexibility to do it all, but it's such a pain in the bum doing it all by hand, isn't it? So let's pop inside Unity. So you get two demo scenes. You get this demo scene, which is the big castle layout, and then you get a second demo scene, which just shows you all of the prefabs that you get in this pack. What I love about this pack is that over here on the left hand side, it gives you instructions of what to do. Like here, it's got, if you want to read that, you've got to go all the way over here. So by default, interior lights and reflection bulbs are turned off, so you've got to really turn them on if you want to use them. So there's a little, if I go in, actually, right, there you go, let's zoom in, get past all this, there you go. So you see here, he's put these little notes saying turn on interiors. So what I've gone and done is I've made a little script that I've attached to these, and it automatically creates triggers for you on them. So over here there's a cube and there's a doorway script, and it will automatically create two colliders. There's like an in trigger and an out trigger, and over here I've dropped this controller that listens to when these events are fired, and then it will do stuff. So I'm going to put that on the descriptions so you can download. That's a little gift to help you turn off and on your things. You don't only need it for setting active. You can have, because it's, you just drag in something onto this event and then it will do whatever you want it to do. So the other things he's told us to do is post-processing, not just enable post-processing. I love the fact that he's actually told us what to set on the sharpen and the motion blending as well. And down here you've got for interiors, it gives you instructions of what to turn on and what to turn off. And for exteriors, it's just the interiors one backwards, really. Optimization, very important. Basically, he's telling you here about the shadow distance, camera clipping, put your rendered mode to deferred, and limit the amount of shadow cast objects you've got. Well, I've just got loads on there. Now, importantly, combined your meshes, because he doesn't combine his meshes. He does use static, click this static to help you, but he doesn't do the mesh combining. I would strongly suggest if you are going to use this in your project, then you need to combine these meshes. It's the same for any modular kit that if you're going to be putting in. There's some cool stuff that you can get that on the fly. If a player puts down, say, pieces to make a wall, and then he makes a house, you could combine those with them in runtime. There's a lot of funky stuff that you can even use. You're not just restricted to, okay, you've done it in the editor. I would really suggest it. And then, unless you're using something like GPU instancer, in which case you do need to keep these all as separate prefabs. It would actually be interesting to see how this would work with GPU instancer. The problem with using this with GPU instancer is that if you've then prefabbed, this part here, and the individual components aren't their own separate prefab. So if we go deeper and deeper, so if this here wasn't its own prefab, then you wouldn't take advantage of it, because there wouldn't be that many of this entire turret floors. So you want these main, the raw models prefabs, this component here, this section here, to still remain a prefab. That's what's nice about all these nested prefab malarkey. So you could then, when you're doing the GPU instancer, it's instancing these wall bases, not the turret floor, and that's where you get your improvement in performance. I know what you're thinking, Messi. Are you going to load in GPU instance on this? You know what? I might give it a go later and see how we get on. Okay, what other funky stuff does he tell us to do? What he also tells us about his medieval village pack, which we've done a video on that before. It is beautiful medieval village pack. And he's also telling us about the wells and props pack. Now the wells and props pack's nice. You could imagine a nice well in here. However, it's not full of props like tables and chairs and things. And in this pack, props we're looking at are these lamp holders. You could call this decoration a prop. I wouldn't call this decoration a prop. I would call this a beautiful decoration on your castle. The barrels. I think the barrels are the only thing we can regard truly as a prop in this pack. And there is a really beautiful barrel. It's actually one of the best looking barrels I've come across. That is a really good barrel. Weathered, old barrel. Nice. I really do like it. So that is a good barrel. Why is it a good barrel? Because he's got good wood. And I have to say that he does have good wood in his pack. And he's even got good rope as well, which is always hard to find. Very importantly, is that you'll notice when I click play, is that the colours on the stones, they don't look bland. It's not like a flat grey or brown. It has a little bit of variation in the colour. It just breaks it up, makes it pop out and come to life. So I'm just going to play about with the default player controller that he's got, which is this little camera he's got running around. I've added the post-processing layer on there. I'm going to turn it off first. And over here on the play, he's got this little simple camera script as well. I've chucked on a capsule collider and a rigid body so that when I do go through these triggers, it does kick off. And I'm going to click play, and we're going to pop inside. I'm going to have to pause it because my computer's getting so old now. When I click play, it's taking me like 20 minutes to do anything. We can call that the intro, can't we? We can call that the official intro, because here we are. I can fly about with his little flying camera, and immediately you see how pretty this castle is. It really is. And it doesn't feel like it's the same pieces over and over again. I can't even notice the fact that these are the same bits of rocks here. Now, you can easily just swap out the textures in this pack as well for other textures that you want. It works really well. One thing you might notice though is that occasionally with this on the lighting, the shadows, see at the top there? Now, I would suggest if you are going to be putting this, obviously you're not going to flip this demo scene, and if you do your lighting, you're not going to have this issue. This is more of an issue with when it's imported in this ready-made scene and the LODs. Oh, there we go. But then occasionally I'm going to say that I do notice little badges like this. See this little line here. Now you could argue that rocks and stones, obviously they're cut and they wouldn't be perfect either. But that's a bit of a noticeable seam here. If you are saying, you swap that for a different piece, and sometimes in these demos, he's got so many parts. Look at this. So big is this demo scene that you can forgive him for the occasional sticking in the wrong prefab in the wrong place, so they don't line up. Now, what I would say is that if you do come across any other scenes, you can tweak that with your shader or your texture, or put some ivy or some decoration on there to hide that. What I think of the textures in this pack, I think the textures in this pack are beautiful. I really do. I think that the marble, look at the floor here, the stone floor is one of my favourite. Like, it just feels like it's alive. It just feels like it's real. Really does. There's lots and everything as well, so that you can get away with having a lot of detail up close and then break it off afterwards. And even the ones that are highest level of detail, a lot of these are only in the like 700 as well. They're not huge, not ridiculous. Let's have a look at this banner. Very pretty. I would have loved if you just froze in like a cloth simulator on here. I'm gonna have to throw in a cloth simulator myself. So away you go. I don't like his fire. I don't like the stop motion animation effect of this fire. I don't like that. I don't like it. I really don't. Also, it's a shame that we don't get a load of props. I want tables, I want chairs. Just give me a couple of chairs and tables. You just needed to make 2 variations of chairs, 2 variations of tables, and throw them in. But maybe they're coming up for a second pack. Look at this beautiful shield. Look at this beautiful shield. So you get the shield on the lion head, the main decorations. Look at that. Look at that. That is really nice. And you get ivy all over the place that you can throw in as well. The other thing, you just every now and again you stumble across something, a nice little surprise, is this decoration. Look at the decoration, the detail on this marble. Look at that. That is lovely. It really is. Look at it, just feels like a photo. Beautiful. Beautifully done. There we go. Look, there's another one. It just feels like you're there, doesn't it? And up here, the detail up on these parts here. But look at this. That you know, people don't really notice as you're running around, but then you do notice it, like in parts, like that subtle in the background, subconsciously, and it just feels like it's alive. The tiles on the roof are my favourite tiles of any asset I've seen so far. I would have loved to if the shader allows you to modify the amount of moss on here, but then you'd have problems when you're throwing it into more modern different shaders. As people complain about that, when an asset pack has its own shader, it kind of limits its flexibility and how it can then expand with different shaders. Let's turn on the post-processing and go inside, and then because as we go inside, it'll trigger the other reflection probes to turn on. The interior ones will turn on, the exterior ones will turn off, and the other lights will turn on and turn off. So if we go back to our little camera and click on the post-processing, boom, let's go in. There we go. And I'm going to say not too much blue, but the post-processing in this doesn't change the colours of them. When you have this massive colour correction, it enhances the scene. I hate is a strong word, but I hate it. I hate it when artists rely on the post-processing to actively change the colour, the feel, the whole look of their assets. And I've had this argument with what I'm going to say argument, debate. It was quite heated in an email from some artists basically saying that post-processing is an art itself and it should be seen as part of the asset because it is how you would in a movie, which is a good argument. However, most people in the active games they're making have their own post-processing profiles already made. You can't dictate that somebody must use your post-processing profile just to get the look of the asset to match the screenshots that you've advertised. That's not fair, because then it means they can't use their own stuff, really, can they? So let's go inside. You see that script kicked in and the inside lights turn on. You might feel we're having that in your game, so I want to call it game ready because you don't want it to be just a sharp doot coming in. You want it to have that effect that as you go in, like with Beautify, you go in and then the eyes adjust to the light in there. Maybe put the trigger, further out here, so the trigger's out here. So as you come here, triggers, and then as you go in, it's already on. That would probably work better, wouldn't it? But then as you walk, if you just walked past it and walked away, always difficult to try and work out what to do. Every now and again, in the demo scene, we'd see a little bit of a Z-phone going on because a little bit of overlapping prefabs. Again, that's more of a case with the prefabs than it is with the mesh. Beautiful. Look at this beautiful demo. It's huge. You would spend hours just playing about with this demo scene. I have to tell you, this demo scene is massive. So if you want to be spending your time watching me getting lost in this demo, then by all means. But I think you should just play it with yourself, or catch Yolanother's Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Yolanother, where he's been playing about with this pack, and he's also been playing around with Jason Boom's better lit shaders as well. Let's go out. Woo! Let's go over here. Wow. How long did it take him to put all this together? I would lose my nuts doing all this. Really. I have not got the patience to put together a demo scene like this, which is bizarre, because if this was in a game, I would be spending my time putting it all together in the game, like in Valheim or Rust. However, inside the editor in Unity, I would be frustrated. You know what would frustrate me is the snapping, but there's loads of tools now to help you with the snapping to make sure that things are aligned properly and you don't have a problem. The other little annoying thing with my script is that you need to stick those entrances and exits on every door, otherwise as you come out here it hasn't actually triggered, and the outdoor lights and reflection plates haven't turned back on, so I've got to go back inside here and then outside again to turn them on. So there you go. Now we're back into this room. Wow. Really is. Beautiful pack. And it's wood. It's lovely. We have to load up the other demo scene so we can see all of the prefabs, because I would just spend my time playing about in this huge castle. You notice that the windows, we've got these beautiful windows, and there's different types of windows in this pack. However, none of these windows have got stained glass, and they're crying out for stained glass. They're crying out to be stained glass. Look, you've got the rectangle ones here, you've got these curved ones here. Come on. If these were stained, if you could have maybe an extension, if you could just do an update and add stained glass on here, then you could use this for later period castles or even churches and cathedrals. I mean, look at this. Imagine this with stained glass on there. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? It would. You get rocks in this pack as well. So like you've got here, you could have this on a cliff with these rocks. You get the little ones, you get the big ones, you get a bit of rubble as well. Very important to have a bit of rubble so that you can have areas that maybe have been damaged or attacked. Oh, look, is that a little secret little cave in there? Very pretty. Very pretty. What have we got here? Like, you know, just going through. Oh, we need to go in through the. That's better. Oh, it's so. If atmospheric is the word, isn't it? It's very atmospheric. Am I the only one who doesn't like these flames? Am I the only one who doesn't like the flames? Am I? Not too sure. Also, I love these flags. So I love the flagpoles, the textures, the material. So I want them to be blowing in the wind. Well, yeah, you can do it yourself very easily in Unity. Beautiful. Oh my word, look at that. It's nice. It doesn't really line up on as you put these together. As I say, don't expect this demo scene to be a true reflection of what you get, because you know he's put this together himself. You need to put yours together yourself. He's got a couple of prefabs, like the modules that aren't aligned, well, you know, there's a gap between them. Then you know, that's when he was putting all this together by hand. So just keep your eye on that when you're doing it yourself. Lesson learned. But then I've seen AAA games that have got that same problem. So pretty and massive. I'm actually shocked at how big this castle is in the demo scene. It's ridiculous. So I don't have my little script on this door, so as we come in. Oh, I haven't seen this one. Wow, look at this shield. That is a nice shield. Wow, and the chains as well. Chains as well. See what I see mean here? Look at the stone on this wall. Okay, look at you've got stones here. The colours and the textures, they feels like stones. So these is great. Occasionally you get like here. That's looking a bit more flat. That here is looking lovely. And here, look at this. Look at the stone here. Just feels like I just rub my hand along it. Beautiful. It's crazy. We've got some amazing castle packs now in the store. I'd love to. This part of my next castle face-off, which is a bit hard. Like sometimes your feeling is basically manipulated and affected by the quality of the demo scene. Like if this wasn't a big castle, made in this demo scene, would I be sitting here basically in shock, spitting out how amazing it is? You would, but not as much as you would if you were walking around this massive demo scene. So you need to really focus when you're comparing these with other assets. You need to focus on the quality of the models, the variation of the models, and the textures, and any other bells and whistles you might be getting in the pack. If we're looking at how many different types of models are we getting in this pack, we're going to open up the other demo scene and have a look. Let's jump in, otherwise if I don't, I'll be stuck here forever. So this is the demo scene that has all of the prefabs in. I'm going to turn this little lighting on here inside the scene view. I like having it off when I'm in the scene view so that I can see how things are, and then when you click play you've got all the lighting on. Here, all the singles. All the single ladies, and here they are, all those single prefabs over there. Here we've got nested prefabs. So he's put in prefab inside a prefab inside a prefab because we're nested as good examples to get you started. So this is a nice little gift he's given. So complete buildings here. You've got floors, as in levels. Then you've got the main parts of the buildings, connections. Now by these it means that you've got the parts of the building that connect one part of the building to another. Entrances, giant turrets, and the turrets are the circular parts of the buildings. We've got the square towers, just over there. We've got the square towers here, and we've got parts of turrets over here and over there, and some parts over here. So those are what we call the nested prefabs for us to play about with. And then we've got the completes. The completes are, if I open them up, you've got made into a part of the building, and it also has got here which says lights. Does it have anything on the lights? I don't think it does. I think it's just a placeholder for your lights to go. Yeah, it looks like it is. Filler. If we open up the prefabs, we've got foliage all over the place. Got some torches in there. Props. Now, when he's got props, he's talking about things like these decorations on the side. The fixtures. You call it fixtures. Where would it call? What would it call the? Oh no, yeah, banner. So even the banner would be regarded as a fixture as well. So you get a lot of stuff to help you get going. I'm going to click play, and then we're going to fly over to the singles. I promise I won't sing single prefabs to you again. Maybe I will. Now you see what I meant earlier about combining your meshes that you've got in your scene. Now, all these, if you were to combine them, and then it would perform a lot better than having all the little pieces. But if you're then instantiating these little pieces, it would also have an improvement. Now, you are limited when you're using something like GPU instances to instantiate hundreds of prefabs. You do have a limit when it comes to your memory, so do be careful. I think you need to use it as part of a larger picture of the other different optimization techniques in your game. You can see the LODs popping in and out. Obviously, you can change the bars that you've got on your LODs. Wow, that texture just comes to life as you're coming up to it. So these textures are really, really good, and there's a nice variation of these building parts. Enough for you to, when you're building inside the editor, to basically make whatever shape building you want. You don't have to cheat and like tweak like you would do in Valheim, for example. But the other cool thing is that you can easily add these as buildable building parts inside your game. Allow your players to build using these parts, and they are both-sided. Unlike some packs you get where they're not both-sided, which means that you can't use them with EBS or whatever. You can't have them like a Rust style game, or the Forest, because they're only one-sided. These you can see all around. There you go. You can argue, well, maybe you should have interior and exterior ones, but then you'll be restricted. I love his gates. Look at that. Lovely texture on that wood. Lovely texture on that wood. Really nice. Metal. Really pretty. Wow, he really does have good wood. I really do like his wood. Here you've got the cobbled streets with bits missing so you can have your puddles in, which is nice. And different variation of these cobbled streets as well. Oh, look at the detail on that. It's pretty. That is so pretty. Oh, it's ridiculous. And I love that he's giving you the wood of flooring with different bits cut out at different angles, so you can have these in the turrets or not. Wow. Again, I said earlier about how these are my favourite roof tiles. Look at the moss. Look at it on there. They just even that tile just feels like you just rub your face against it. It is lovely. And little bits like this. Look at the little attentions to detail. Really, it's that level above. Here again, little attentions to detail. Beautiful. If we pop over here, so along this door here, you see the top. You've got little crusty bits of stone in there, as you would do. Oh, it's nice. I love it. Here you've got the larger bits of stone, and then at the top smaller bits of stone put together to make that archway over. It really is beautiful pack. Look at this, I didn't even notice this one earlier. Look at that nice little ring. Beautiful. Come on, give us some stained glass. Just give us some stained glass, please. Wow. What a nice pack of variation you've got here. Spot of stairs, normal stairs. Wow, that just brings back Valheim memories, doesn't it? Trying to make our castle in Valheim. Imagine if we had this. Beautiful. Load of collection of banners. Those are the two different windows we've got. A hook. You can have a hook. Hook hand. So if you've progressed to the Iron Age, you make iron fencing. These are the two different shields that you're getting. Very pretty. Collection of ivy. Oh, nice big bowl. Oh, so pretty. You know what I was saying about using cheats. You could use these parts here to hide unseemly seams, as you would do and corners. Very nice. Oh, it's pretty. I love the fact that we were talking about one side. You see, look, the rocks here, one-sided rocks, so that you can have a load of these. Whereas you've got your rocks which are all closed off. These ones down the bottom. I thought this big one would have been, but this big one's not. This one here is. This one's a big solid lump. No, and there's a big solid lump. Put together floor pieces. It's very, oh my God, wow. And I love the fact that we get these parts here, so you don't have to worry about doing it yourself. Would drive you nuts doing this, unless you enjoy that kind of thing. I know a lot of people do. I know a lot of people do enjoy this kind of thing. The whole snapping, putting the pieces together, just gets on my wick, because you get the sneezy fingers. When you're putting something together and you have a spasm, whey, and then you've moved it apart. Like here, even Astrofish has got a couple of time ups and these easy fingers, we're going to call it. But look, so as you can see, they've been moved over a touch. See here, it's moved over a touch. Whereas over here, there's then got a gap because this piece has been moved too much over to the left. I've seen many packs where that happens on the LOD, because as they're moving things around, they accidentally select the LOD rather than the parent, and they move the LOD and they think it's all fine, and then you move off and then the LOD suddenly jumps like over there. Thankfully that's not the case here. It's the parent that's just sneezy fingered over to the left. And that's where some of the, if you're putting these, just have a little look and just correct them on the prefab, and then they'll update all of them as well. And if you are, there's one person doing all of these, you can understand where you would have a few cases where you maybe make a mistake, you don't notice it. It's when you've got these dev teams of artists focusing on this. Again, like sometimes I don't see any seams whatsoever. Sometimes I do, but I think it's more of a case of, as you're putting these pieces together, just be careful how you're snapping them. Look at this archway. Oh my word. Honestly, I could just sit here for the next hour and just play about looking at all the different components in this pack. Wow. Beautiful. Oh, we need to have, as a face-off, we need to put two castles from two different packs in the same scene against each other. Like Yolan's Castle Defender. Two castles, two different packs, fighting to the death. Dun dun dun. It does have a nice thing, is that when you get two packs of relatively equal or there and thereabouts quality, you can put them in your game and they feel like they belong together. If you've got one pack that just is so good and the other artwork just doesn't match the quality at all, then it's jarring. It really feels the difference. You need to have consistency in quality and style in your games that you're making. It's a lovely pack. I'm trying to think of what I'll do with it. I need to do something with it now, because it's too pretty to be left on the shelf. Gotta have fun with the next castle face-off. In the castle face-off, we need to do castle face-off. We had the last one, which was great. We had Aquarius Max, we had Triple Brick, we had the Arctic Castle. Oh my word, I forgot what the developer's name was, but it's no longer on the store. So this is like the next breed of fancy, beautiful castles coming through on the asset store. So if you do like these videos and you want to see more, click on that big, juicy, red subscribe button. Tell all your friends, random people in the street, that this castle pack could do with some stained glass. Could do with some stained glass patterns. That's what it could do with as well. Yeah, tell all your friends, random people on the street, that the castle could do with some stained glass patterns, because we've got them. Yeah, the glass and the frames, but we just don't have the nice fancy colours on there. We can flip these out, put them in. Oh, that would be nice. That would be nice. Yeah, look at the mould on there. Look at that moss growing on there. Look at that moss. And oh my word. Oh my word. I was doing my outro and I got distracted again. You naughty, naughty badger, you. Oh, well, I better stop, otherwise I'm never going to go to bed. Right, that's it. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. I promise. Okay. 5 more minutes of playing about and then I'll go to bed. If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now, and down below there's that big juicy subscribe button, and right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.